So I'm out political canvassing, right?
Okay.
I'm over here looking for my next house.
Okay.
And these two dudes come up with the dog and tell me, what's in your backpack?
Okay.
And I said, what do you mean what's in my backpack?
Okay.
Well, I thought I was getting robbed, dude.
I understand. I'm just saying.
And then
not robbing. How you doing?
Not bad.
You're right.
Are you his boss? Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the only concern is, man, look, some people just called in, right? They said that you were going up door to door, like checking door handles and stuff, okay?
Well, I'm not checking. I am going door to door.
We are.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys know you're welcome to politically canvass in the area. That's absolutely something you're allowed to do, okay? Some of those people just called in, right, because they're concerned, because they thought you were like jingling door handles, and they're worried and they're concerned because there's been some break-ins in the area recently.
They need to not come up and demand I open anything. Come up with two dogs threatening me. Like, that is not okay, dude.
That's not okay. That's definitely not okay. And I think I can understand both sides of what's happening here.
I can understand that.
This video exposes a troubling example of how law enforcement power can be abused when accountability is absent. What begins as a routine day of political canvassing quickly escalates into an aggressive police encounter. Officers approach a man without clear evidence of wrongdoing, immediately demanding identification and questioning his presence, rather than explaining the situation calmly. They rely on vague accusations and misleading interpretations of the law. This opening sets the tone for a disturbing interaction where constitutional rights are treated as obstacles instead of protections guaranteed to every citizen.
But when I told them I'm politically canvassing,
They're not you guys. You know what I mean? They're not the cops.
So here's the deal, okay? So you got to remember, right? You're not in any kind of attire showing that you're politically canvassing, or you're in a video game T-shirt, some headphones, some sunglasses, and a backpack and ball shorts, right? So
that's not illegal.
No, it's not. I'm just explaining to you, right? People might perceive what you're doing, right, is illegal, like hot prowling, right? That is a law and it is a violation. You can't go on people's properties. Anytime you pass a public sidewalk and it's somebody's private property, that is trespassing, right? That's people's concern right now.
If I were to remain,
our job is to figure out what's going on, right? All we need to know is your name, what you're putting. If you have anything to say, hey, I'm politically canvassing, cool. That way we can go back to them and tell them the gentleman's just politically canvassing. He showed us. We have sufficient, information to say, you know what, that's all he's doing. But in the interest of justice and for public, right, that's their request.
The man calmly explains that he is engaged in political canvassing, a lawful activity protected under the First Amendment. Despite this, officers claim they received calls accusing him of suspicious behavior, including checking door handles. No evidence is presented. Yet the officers justify their confrontation by citing fear in the community and recent break-ins. Instead of verifying facts, they escalate the situation, surrounding him with authority and pressure. This moment highlights how unverified complaints are often used to justify invasive police actions against lawful citizens.
That's why we're doing our due diligence.
well, I mean, respectfully, I know my rights. I will read. They can request all they want, but to alleviate their concern, my name is Ron and I work for.
Okay.
Am I being detained?
Right now, yes, for trespassing, because you were on people's properties. So if you want to go down that road, we just need your name, date of birth, and we'll check you, make sure you're not a wanted person, and be done and over with.
I'm so sorry.
That's
Where was he at where he was trespassing? I'm so sorry.
He was at people's doors that he was knocking. That's when you cross somebody's threshold to their property line, right? That is trespassing. When you're not on a public
Enter
sidewalk.
or remain unlawfully. I never entered or remained unlawfully.
Hold on, Ron. Calm down.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm just trying to understand.
Sure.
We're going to knock on people's doors.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. So we're not allowed to not.
First Amendment right.
Ron, calm down.
I'm sorry.
We're not allowed to walk out to someone's door and knock on their door.
Correct, because it's their private property. So if
As the discussion continues, officers argue that knocking on doors constitutes trespassing, a claim that directly contradicts long-standing legal precedent. They blur the line between private property and implied public access, misrepresenting the law to intimidate compliance. The man asserts that he never entered or remained unlawfully and would leave if asked. Rather than acknowledging this, officers continue shifting legal definitions, revealing either a dangerous lack of understanding or a deliberate attempt to confuse and coerce him into surrendering his rights.
So like right now we're on a public sidewalk. Where he's standing is technically private property. Somebody maintains that lawn, somebody cares for that lawn. This building probably, chances are, is who owns that, right? However, most people aren't going to call in and say, hey, you're trespassing, right? but because of the nature and how everything went down, right, and their confrontation, their disturbance, whatever it is that they got into, I wasn't there, right? You know I wasn't there. It was you and them, right?
Well, how are you going to convince a jury?
Right. So the allegation right now, right, is that. Right? Very simple. All we do is verify who you are, ensure that all you're doing is canvassing.
I have a Fourth Amendment protection.
Right? Okay, if you'd like to go down that road, we can go down and we'll take you to jail for trespassing, if that's the road you want to go down. I'm trying to prevent that, alleviate all that, by just verifying who you are. Very simple.
I committed no crime.
When you're trespassing, that is a crime.
No, if anybody ever told me to leave their property, I left, and that wasn't today.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You still can't just trespass on people's properties. It's private property. If you don't own it, it's owned by somebody else.
The encounter becomes more intense when officers insist that identification is required to alleviate concerns. They threaten arrest for trespassing and obstruction if the man refuses to provide his name and date of birth. This tactic places him in an impossible position. Surrender his Fourth Amendment rights or face jail. The officers frame compliance as cooperation, while resistance is labeled suspicious. This section demonstrates how threats of arrest are often weaponized to force citizens into waiving constitutional protections.
Right, like the grass you're standing on, if somebody called and said, hey, that guy's trespassing, I want to trespass,
so
I have
then
to identify you and issue you a warning, and then
a picture is sufficient.
Okay? What was that?
A picture is sufficient for a warning. You can take my picture and say you did.
Not sufficient. We need a name and date of birth because we have to issue you a formal trespass warning.
So under threat of arrest, if I do not give you my name,
threat, okay.
So if I do not give you my name, will you?
Because now you're.
But you'll arrest me.
You're trespassing, and you don't give us your information. Now it's obstruction.
If I do not give you my name, you'll arrest me.
Listen, we don't want to go down that road.
I know, but I'm just asking you.
I am being as reasonable with you as I can be, okay?
And I want to comply.
Listen, okay.
I want to comply, but
private property, okay? The city of Billings, right, requires we identify the person to issue them a warning, saying, "Hey, sir, you've been warned. Please do not trespass."
And the Supreme Court has ruled that a picture is sufficient.
Ron, I need you to hold on for a second. This is my program organizer.
Okay,
would you mind just talking?
Yes.
To her for a second?
Despite repeated claims that he has committed no crime, officers persist in demanding identification, even arguing that a formal trespass warning requires personal information. The man questions the legality of this demand and cites Supreme Court precedent, only to be dismissed. Communication with a supervisor further exposes contradictions, as officers simultaneously admit his actions are lawful while continuing to justify detention. This confusion reveals how loosely enforced standards allow officers to detain individuals without reasonable, articulable suspicion.
No problem.
I want legal representation.
Hello, this is Officer Diaz. Who am I speaking with? Good. I'm doing well. We're just out here because there was reports of some kind of hot prowling going on where, what's your name?
But they're false reports.
My name is.
Thank you.
We work
What's
for Ron. He works with me.
Ryan. So I guess Brian? Ron. I guess Ron was doing some political canvassing.
Yes, that's what we did.
And they were knocking on doors and so forth, which they're allowed to do, right? However,
No crime.
When you trespass on somebody's private property, it's trespassing. So most people aren't going to call in that you came to solicit and do all that stuff, right? At the end of the day, like I explained all that, that's all we're trying to do.
I'm going to give up my rights. He just said I haven't committed any crime. I have no obligation to identify.
Look, real quick,
That's what he said.
it's Ron, right?
But if he's going to threaten me with arrest, then I will sue them for a violation.
So, really quickly, Ron.
As supervisors become involved, it is confirmed that political canvassing is legal and constitutionally protected. Still, officers argue that public perception and citizen complaints justify their actions. The man repeatedly asks a simple question: whether he will be arrested for refusing to identify himself. The lack of a clear answer underscores the power imbalance at play. Instead of de-escalation, officers rely on uncertainty and authority, hoping pressure alone will secure compliance without legal justification.
Let me just clear this up really quickly, okay?
Somebody maintains the grass.
Billings City Code has a thing just called prowling.
That's fine. I just need to know, if I do not give my name, will you arrest me?
If Ron is
Okay,
gonna
thank you.
cooperate,
No.
I don't know
Okay.
what company you work for.
Am I free to go now?
Not want to continue.
Not right now, right? Just billing.
So what reasonable articulable suspicion do you have that trespassing is when you enter and remain unlawfully? Nothing about me knocking on their door was unlawful.
I appreciate you explaining the trespass to me, okay? That's really helpful. Thank you. Okay?
Like I said, most
I'm talking about the
people,
situation
if
is billing city code,
don't
okay?
care that you
But as
come to
you
their
were
door.
growling, you kind of already explained to me why you're here. You're political.
And I have my boss. So there we go. Political canvassing. This is my First Amendment right. I am exercising my First Amendment right.
So like as part of like that billing city code requiring
because of that,
we just need to identify.
Can you get me that billing city code?
Would you like me to show it to you?
And make
Yeah.
I don't want a person identify him, be done with it, and send him on his way.
You can even read it if you would like.
Being difficult and not wanting to give his name. So
Eventually, recognizing the weakness of their position, officers decide to disengage, not because rights were respected, but because pursuing the matter further would expose their misconduct. They frame their retreat as a matter of efficiency and public safety, rather than an acknowledgement of wrongdoing. This moment is critical, as it illustrates how many violations go unchallenged simply because citizens lack the knowledge or confidence to stand their ground under pressure.
that's kind of where we're at.
Oh, I'm a law-abiding individual practicing my First Amendment right, though.
Absolutely. Right,
So,
but part of the problem
absolutely,
is
absolutely.
People came and they described it, right? They described it as you were coming in and you were like making.
But that's why you
right?
do due diligence and you come and get the second side of the story and you find out that my boss is here and I'm exercising my First Amendment right. So now, so what crime have I committed?
Because I'm trying to complete and make sure, right? Like obviously, yeah.
What does my name have to do with any of that?
Verify it, right? For us to be able to
And that's what we want to leave it
verify
as, very simple.
and confirm,
Just be like, hey,
right, that you are here and what you're doing is politically.
I just told you, do you have any reason to believe that is not why I am here? Other than what those people, exactly. If you don't know, how are you going to convince a jury?
Because here's the thing, man, is we don't necessarily know for sure.
Ron, we are not trying to antagonize each other. They're trying to do their jobs. Someone call the
pass the
police.
phone
Like,
over.
This encounter serves as a powerful reminder of why knowing and exercising your rights is essential. If this man had not remained calm and informed, the outcome could have been very different. Countless others may not be as fortunate. The video raises an important question. What consequences should officers face when they fabricate laws and threaten arrest to suppress constitutional freedoms? Awareness, documentation, and accountability are the only tools citizens have to prevent these abuses from becoming routine.
I would have called the police in your area and tell them it's the same thing. They're going to come and check it out. That what they said to you was not
She's
okay,
gonna
but trying
you
to
afterwards.
figure out the
She'll also
situation. We've got to try to stay calm for them. They're trying to not arrest you. They're trying to
Literally,
trying to
that's
get to
all
the
we're
bottom
trying
of who we are so that they can just
I believe in my
know.
rights. That's why I'm out politically canvassing, exercising my First Amendment right. And I've just asked, am I going to be arrested if I do not give my name? He said no. What's your answer?
Okay, so
Since you know that I'm politically canvassing and
here's
not
the deal.
doing that code,
here's the deal, okay? Since you're being less than forthcoming and there's bigger problems that are plaguing our city in the interest of justice and the safety of the community, we're not going to waste our time with you anymore, okay?
I want to go home.
But
Thank
the
you.
reality is, okay?
Thank you.
Had we had more time and all this stuff, we'd be having